Support for Radio Friends comes from OsteoStrong. Improvements in bone density, strength, and power can be achieved by weekly 5-minute no-sweat sessions on their 4-spectrum machines. These isometric robotic machines safely emulate high-impact loading on different parts of the skeletal system, which stimulates activity in bone-building cells. Balance and agility can be improved by 2-minute sessions on vibration plates. Every session is supervised by a trained coach. Learn more on Facebook or call to set up a complimentary wellness assessment and session. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, May the 13th. I've got Jamie Daugherty with us. She's not here in the studio, but she's on Zoom. Hey, Jamie, how are you?
Hi.
Good to see you. Good to see you. You are with the Missouri Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and you wanted to talk today about our relationship with food and exercise, right?
Yeah, I think it's important now more than ever, especially as we're kind of coming out of this COVID fog. People have probably created healthier habits or not so healthier habits. So I was going to talk about a few ways that we could approach a healthier relationship with food and even exercise.
Okay, so how do we accomplish a healthier relationship with food?
Well, there's about 3 ways that I kind of identified you could, build traction or positive movement in that direction. So always being flexible and adaptable. I think sometimes we think of food and what we take in on a daily basis as being rigid if we're following a strict diet. But when it comes to our food choices, we want to get rid of old patterns that don't serve us anymore, and asking yourself questions such as, why am I choosing certain foods to eat, or am I really hungry, or those kind of things. The second thing is having a sense of portion awareness and taking time for meals and snacks. Often we rush through meals and snacks and don't even think about what we're tasting, our food that we're tasting. And so then we end up having larger portions. So having kind of some portion awareness and time for meals and snacks.
Most of us generally eat too much, don't we?
Oh, definitely. I've known many individuals, that are well into their adult years that have no idea how much they're taking in. And then when you kind of do a nutrient analysis on them, they're shocked at the amount of calories they're taking in.
Yeah. So how can we just slowly start reducing those portions, how many calories we take in? It's got to be a mindset there, right?
It really is. And, that last piece I was talking about is the time. Many people, if you ask them, how are you a slow eater or a fast eater, they may not even have thought about that before. So blocking time on your schedule and saying, I'm going to have lunch and or breakfast, and I'm going to take 15 to 20 to 30 minutes for that meal. I know that can be a difficult thing to do with busy schedules, but when we sit and eat more mindfully and be a little bit more aware of what we take in, we often don't need to clear our plates. We realize, I'm actually full and I can save some of that for another meal.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to have some leftovers there. I know as I grow older, I am not able to eat as much as I used to eat 20 years ago, and that's okay. Isn't that natural?
Yeah, our appetites kind of decrease, and also we think about our metabolism. I'm sure your energy level looks a little bit different now than it did when you were 20 years old. So
right.
Serving things on smaller plates so that, there's always going to be more food. You can go back and get more if you need it, but oftentimes we fill our plate or bowl and then we just eat whatever's in front of us, and it's not what we need.
Right. You know what, Jamie, we're out of time for today, but you've given us some good information. We need to be mindful about our servings and maybe take just a little bit less to help our body. Thank you, Jamie, so much for coming by. If people want more information, what's the website they can go to?
McDanielnutrition.com.
Okay. Or eatright.org also.
Eatright.org.
Okay. Thank you so much for visiting with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Stay healthy.
You too.
Okay. Now, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dayna Glanz. Dayna is a retired family geriatric nurse practitioner. She's also the owner of OsteoStrong Corporate Lake and just celebrated her 2nd year in operation. It's good to have you here, Dayna.
Thank you.
And we were talking earlier, and you were giving me some statistics that as many as 1 in 2 women over the age of 50 and 1 in 5 men over 50 have a bone fracture. And when they fracture their bones, that's when they actually find out that they may have osteoporosis, right?
Often, especially in men. It's more predictable in women.
So what is osteoporosis exactly, and how does it impact us?
So osteoporosis is a deconditioning or a deterioration of the bone density, bone mass, and the structural deterioration of the bone. It leads to bone fragility and increases the risk for fracture.
So it means if your bones are getting fragile, you could. In fact, I had a friend. She was dealing with chemotherapy and cancer. Mm-hmm. Her bones, this was years ago, were so brittle that when she just put her elbow down on a counter, it fractured the bone and broke it. Now that's an extreme case, but that does happen.
But there are medications and certain conditions that can predispose one to osteoporosis, and cancer treatment is one of those.
It is. Now, go ahead and explain to the listeners how OsteoStrong can help build the density of our bones. We've talked about this before, but it's something that affects a lot of people.
Yeah, and basically it's a non-pharmacological treatment for increasing bone mass. And it's a set of machines that are designed to create high-impact loading, similar to what a gymnast gets when they land. When they come off the vault, they are getting somewhere between 8 and 15 multiples of their own body weight in impact.
And so you're doing this on the machine. I know we've talked about it, but it's done very quickly, in 10 seconds or so.
Yeah. And, I mean, you can get through the whole session literally in 2 minutes.
Anything else that you want to mention to the listeners about this?
Basically, that we're in celebration of National Osteoporosis Month, the month of May. We're going to have members, if they want to, invite a friend and they can join, and we will discount. We'll do a 2-for-1.
Okay, and this is
discount on their enrollment fee
for National Osteoporosis Month. How many people? We're almost out of time here, but how many thousands of people just in central Missouri would you estimate that are dealing with osteoporosis and don't even know it?
Well, we know that there's 53 million in North America.
53 million people in North America
that have osteoporosis.
And many are not aware of it.
Exactly.
Okay. If people want more information, they can contact you how?
Facebook, OsteoStrong Corporate Lake.
Okay. Just go
and our number's 573-554-5881.
Okay, or you can go to facebook.com, OsteoStrong Columbia, or the phone number is?
573-554-5881.
Okay. Dayna Glanz, thank you so much for coming by.
Always a pleasure.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.